Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today we're going to take a look at an item called a Retevis RT6 radio. And we're going to open the box and see what we've got in here. But first, let's take a look at what's on the box. Two-way radio, obviously. Okay, Retevis, portable two-way radio, durable, waterproof, anti-dust, noise reduction circuit, FM radio battery safe, CTCSS, and DCS, which is a digital equivalent of that we don't use much in the U.S. Long standby time. Okay. Some pictures of the factory there, and it's got about basically the same stuff there. And nowhere does it say ham radio. Okay, this is the kind of radio that could be sold anywhere. And so we're just going to take a look at it as it comes. I was actually sent two of these. And let's see what we get for, let's see, this is IP67 dust and waterproof resisting two-way radio. Works well under 1 meter of water for 30 minutes, so that, it ensures the product reliability in the wet environments. Actually, IP67 is the lowest level of water resistance, so that's okay. Here is the handbook on it. We've got a earpiece right here, okay, and we've got the radio itself, which looks remarkably like a handheld. A menu, dual band FM transmitter, so it's not DMR or anything like that, okay? And let's take a look at the battery. The battery right here will go like this.
Channel mode.
Channel mode. Okay, we've heard that before. What I want to do with this thing right here, let's go ahead and put on the antenna so that it looks like a handheld. And let's see what else is in here. Okay. We've got a little power supply. We've got a radio charging stand. And the radio charging stand has a little colored LED in there. You put that plug there. Now, this is very important. We're going to look at the back. Input DC 10 volts. This is extremely important because you cannot use a cigarette lighter plug in this thing to charge the battery, as it will overcharge it and will overheat this thing. You can actually melt them. I've seen videos where they've been melted. There's your usual little wrist strap, and this is the bucklet. Okay, so the kinds of things that you would expect. What I want to do first is look at the radio itself. Let's look at the frequencies that are in here. We'll use the up. And let's see, I want to do this so that you can see the frequencies. We'll do up.
1.
That's channel 1. That's outside the ham band, 452.
2. 1.
That's outside the ham band in the public service frequencies.
2. 0.
438 is in the ham band.
1. 9.
172 is public service.
1. 8.
155 public service. 138 is down below the ham band in the television channels.
1. 6.
479 is outside the ham band. 437 is inside the 70 centimeter ham
1.
band.
4.
That is in the federal frequency allocation.
1. 3.
This is again in public service type
1.
thing.
2.
You look at all these
1.
frequencies.
0. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 2. 1.
Okay. Let's take a look at the manual here. Okay, safety information, yada yada. First of all, let's see. The manual is entirely in English. They've gotten much better at these manuals. Accessories, battery charging parts, controls, keys, basic operation, shortcut menu, set technical specification. Okay, features, dual band handheld with display function on the display LCD, working frequencies 130 to 176 megahertz and 400 to 520 megahertz. High power mid-low is 5 watts, 3 watts, 1 watt. Up to 128 memory channels, cross-band reception and transmission. Variety of display channel numbers. You can change what displays. CTCSS, which are the tone codes that we use in the United States. Tone end of transmission that's usually not used in the U.S. The voice-operated transmission, which I do not recommend because it's just too hard to accidentally operate that. DTMF, emergency alarm, ANI codes, selectable frequency steps from 2.5 up to 50 kilohertz, frequency reverse, so you can hear if a repeater is on. Battery saving function, save, emergency SOS sound and light alarm. That makes a sort of woo 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 sound, and I don't know what good that is. Programmable by a PC. That's very important. They did not include the programming cable. Okay, broadband, narrowband, FM, commercial FM receiver. That's nice. Note 65 megahertz to 108. That's twice the size of the American band. There are other countries where FM is got a broader band. I'm talking about FM broadcast. Display illumination, programmable keyboard, built-in LED flashlight. Okay. Then there's all these accessories and stuff like that. Do you see the words ham radio anywhere? I don't. I really don't. And so you've got all the different things that you can do in here with this radio. Now, the question is whether the thing is able to, if it does a good job. This probably is a very nice little radio for an FM radio for, it's got all your menu items in here, the different tones and stuff like that you can do. So this is an ordinary FM radio. What use could you make of this radio? Well, I'm assuming it's a Part 90 device. Let's see if they've got an FCC. They claim FCC certification right there. Okay, it would be Part 90, not Part 95. And it doesn't really say much about it. This could be used as a simple 5-watt FM handy talkie on the ham radio bands, both 2 meters and 70 centimeters. It could be used to listen to public service radio. It does not include air bands. It will receive FM broadcast bands. It's got a flashlight. There's the flashlight. Not terribly bright, but I personally think that a flashlight on a handheld's a good idea because it's a very handy tool to have. This button here takes you to FM. Well, I won't put any more of that, or we get YouTube gets upset if we have music. Okay, so this will work just fine as an FM handheld, normal power. You'd use the 1 watt with a hotspot, but then there's no DMR in this, so it wouldn't do you any good with a hotspot. Skip the part about a hotspot. Okay, so now, will this work on FRS frequencies? Yes, it will. However, it's not legal. FRS radios have to have a non-detachable antenna. Will it work on GMRS? Maybe. But the problem is it will also transmit on public service frequencies. Radios like this in the hands of somebody who is malicious can be a real issue. So I want to talk a little bit about this radio. First, let's find out how much it costs. Yeah, this is interesting. You can get 2 RT6s for $80, or you can get 1 for $54. So let's go back to the 2, since that's what they sent me. Nice to have an extra, I suppose. They are not that expensive, $80, which means they're about $40 a piece. Okay, so this is the radio right here. It does not come with the programming cable. Now let's take a look at the radio itself. This has a different type of programming cable for it. You'd have to own the programming. This doesn't come open easily, and the programming cable's definitely not in there, but that's where it would attach. Okay, so you'd want to program it. I have an issue with this type of radio. One, will it make a good ham radio handheld? Yes, it will make a nice, little, inexpensive FM handset. We'll test it on the spectrum analyzer in just a minute and see how good or bad it is. They're inexpensive. However, it covers too much area. It is my considered opinion that radios sold for ham radio should be ham radio specific and cover the ham bands. You can listen outside of them, that's great, but not transmit outside of them. This radio makes no mention in any of the literature, although it does on Amazon say that you need a license, but it's not in anything here. Here is what people do with these radios, with those pre-programmed frequencies that are in them. They don't program new frequencies into them. They just use the frequencies that are already in here. And those frequencies are spread all over the place and will cause interference with public service, other users, government users, and so on. And we noted that there was one of those frequencies that was programmed in the ham band. People pick these up, think, great, nice little two-way radio. We can talk while we're on vacation, and they could be right in the ham band. They could be interfering with public service, and so on. I have made this plea many times over the years to the Chinese manufacturers. If you're going to sell a radio for amateur radio, have it operate only on amateur radio frequencies and make really clear that you require a license, a technician license, to use this radio on the ham bands. And certainly having such a radio in the hands of somebody who doesn't know any better and just uses the frequencies already programmed in here, they are going to find out that they can talk to each other. The radios are sold. I got 2 of them. I was sent 2 of them. There's no reason to have 2 if it's a ham radio, because you can talk to a repeater, you can talk to somebody else with a radio, but I got 2 of them, which leads me to believe that ham radio is not their real market. Okay, so what does this mean in terms of the radio? I'm disappointed that the radio is being sold without any reference on the box of the fact that you need a license to use this radio. And it is not legal on FRS frequencies. It's too powerful. It has too big an antenna. The antenna is removable, so somebody could put an even bigger antenna on the thing. So let's take a look and see how the thing does on the spectrum analyzer and see if it is a good radio from the point of view of harmonics. So we're going to go over here, take this off. By the way, this is a good place to get little connectors. They were at PacificonWiredCo.com. Get all kinds of little connectors. And okay, here we go. I'm going to turn this on.
Channel mode.
And we're going to transmit on 155. Oh my goodness, look at the harmonics on that thing. Here's your main frequency. Let's see if we can turn it down. Okay. These are 50 to 45 dB down, but look at these. These go way up. This is a gigahertz right about here. So they're going way up into that arena. I mean, these things are just going an awful lot of harmonics that shouldn't be there. Okay, let's
20.
pick a frequency that's in the 408. Look at that. Good grief. The harmonic has got almost as much power as the fundamental. Okay? What this means is that the transmitter in this is just not doing the job of getting the harmonics down. I think they're relying on the antenna to kind of, won't work well at this one, but this is unacceptable. The way this is, in fact, the harmonic is as strong as the fundamental. Okay, the harmonic, or this right here is the fundamental, which is 438.5. And so this is the harmonic, which would be about 880 right there. Look at that. It's just unbelievable that... Okay, let's get this thing held down here. There we go. Okay. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So, all right. We've looked here. Let's render a judgment on this radio. Will this radio work as an inexpensive FM handheld? Yes, but I'd rather you get the GT5R. Don't get the UV5R because it has the same problem with harmonics. But the GT5R from Radioddity gets rid of those harmonics, does a very nice job. Getting rid of the harmonic puts the power back into the fundamental where you want it. This radio right here, if you're living out in the middle of nowhere, like I am, that's probably okay. But if you're in the city, those harmonics are going to interfere with other services. Okay, so the output section filtering is just quite simply inadequate. The way the packaging is done, there's no indication that this is for ham radio. There's no indication that you really need a license everywhere you talk on this radio, except on the FRS frequencies, and there's only 22 of those. This radio is capable of thousands of frequencies. It's only 22 FRS, and it's not legal for FRS because it doesn't have the correct antenna on it. You need a radio designed for FRS. So Retevis, I've looked at a lot of your radios, which are just simply outstanding, okay? Unfortunately, this is not one of them. This is the kind of radio that needs work on the transmit end so it doesn't transmit those harmonics, that needs to pick a market. Pick a market. If it's going to be ham radio, transmit on ham bands. If it's going to be GMRS, make it GMRS. MRS does require a license. If you're trying to sell to public service, make radios that work on public service frequencies. So I hate to say this is the first review I've done in a very long time, and they gave me these radios. Please understand this. They gave me these radios for review. They didn't cost me anything. And I'm going to, I can't remember the last time I did this, but a thumbs down on this radio. I would recommend that you get yourself like a GT5, GT, UV5R, GT5R, which has the, which is a very nice little handheld FM radio for both 2 meters and 70 centimeters. So there you have it. Wow. If you would like to help support this channel, please go to dcasler.com/support. And until we next meet, 73.